sound too heartbroken because he said, I won the lottery, basically. I'm going to get paid $100 million. I'm going to get $2 million a month to not do anything. And then I can sign anywhere I want. Now, granted, I think he's 36. Coming off the Achilles. He'll be 36 by the time he comes back to the NBA. And he's going to be able to pick wherever he wants to go. Now, granted, he's not the guy who's going to get you 28 a game anymore. But he can still give you that 20 a game, spot-up shooter. Certainly can go on a run. But I think that he did well by the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks paying $100 million for him to go away. You're paying me $100 million to rehab.
Dan Patrick.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. It's Jason Smith.
Oh, you're that bloke on the radio.
It's Mike Harmon.
Ta-da! I'm kind of a big deal.
And they talk sports.
The one person that this playoff is not fun for is my wife.
Amongst other things.
I had an incredibly long dream about Jerry Jones last night.
Really?
Did I mention they're best friends?
You're hateful, and I'm positive.
It's the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Bang.
Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah!
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Go! Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
And one of the worst kept secrets in the NBA, it is now that much closer to becoming fact. Free agent center DeAndre Ayton will reportedly sign a 2-year deal to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, this following his buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers. The New York Knicks have hired Mike Brown to be their new head coach. He was the only candidate to get a second interview in New York. The Athletic reports the Warriors, Lakers, and Celtics have reached out to free agent guard Damian Lillard, while Grizzlies All-Star center Jaren Jackson Jr. will be evaluated in about 12 weeks following his turf toe surgery. At Wimbledon, second seed Carlos Alcaraz a winner in gentlemen's singles today, as was fifth-seeded American Taylor Fritz. 12th-seeded American Francis Tiafoe lost in 4 sets. Ladies side, top seed Arina Sabalenka winner today on to round number 3, as was number 6 Madison Keys and Naomi Osaka. Rays beat the A's 6-5. Red Sox topped the Reds 5-3. Pirates over the Cardinals 5-0. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, let's do it up tonight. Let's get going. I'm ready. Great show, ready to go on a Wednesday. How are you doing? You doing all right? Thanks for spending some time with us. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back live on Fox Sports Radio. We are across South Dakota from Sioux Falls to Rapid City. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. Let's bring it here on a Wednesday. Hey, 4th of July week, but we got to get after it. There's some things popping. A lot to discuss tonight. A little sports gambling story that's on my mind, and I'm going to ask you guys a question of the day, really what the real story is on this stuff. How about the Kansas City Chiefs? Are they going to get a new stadium? Are they going to get a renovated stadium? There's some discussion there. And then I got politics on the show today, big time. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun coming on live to discuss a big deal in Rapid City. So a lot to get to. Let's get going. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Also stream us right now on your phone on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch us live there every afternoon drive on X at Nate Brown Show, and on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show live right now, and the archive shows are there. Let's get to the guest lineup, and then we'll get popping here tonight. Blair Kerkhoff's going to join us, great sports writer from Kansas City. He's been with the Kansas City Star a long time. Blair Kerkhoff writing a piece on what are the Chiefs going to do. And by the way, there's a lot of Chiefs fans. There's more and more Chiefs fans that have come out the last 8 years. Something's happened. I'm not quite sure, but there's a lot of Chiefs fans. What are you guys going to do? You going to do something with a brand new stadium? Is the public going to be asked to finance some of this? What's the real story down in KC with Arrowhead? Blair Kerkhoff on tonight from the Kansas City Star. He'll have a discussion straight ahead. National college football writer John Brice is in tonight. Yesterday was the start of revenue sharing. How's this all going to go? Is my prediction going to come right? With revenue sharing and somebody whining and filing a lawsuit. I think so, but we'll get John Brice in tonight, national college football writer from footballscoop.com. He's in. I told you, Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun, I appreciate his time. He's going to join us on the Pizza Ranch studio hotline tonight. Jason Salamun had a big announcement last week when we were on vacation. I thought, let's get him on and open up that discussion. What hurdles remain? Brand new indoor sports facility being proposed for Rapid City. The mayor, Jason Salamun, live tonight. And we'll go to Florida as well for national NBA analyst Keith Smith. A lot of moves. Knicks getting a new coach. Lakers getting a new center. NBA analyst Keith Smith from Spotrac and Front Office Show. Packed on a Wednesday from South Dakota across the country. We'll get going. Let's get you on as well. 605-720-1067 if you want to join us this Wednesday. We're not working just for nothing, right? So be a part of the program. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch with locations at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, in Brandon as well, and then 2 locations in Rapid City. Stop by and hit the Pizza Ranch. It's too hot to cook. Go to the Pizza Ranch buffet, home of everyone's favorite buffet tonight. Also, text us on the text line if you want to be a part of the show that way, 605-720-1067. That's the same number. It's the Barron's Wilson listener text line for you, 605-720-1067. Okay, let me start with something national, and we'll get to a lot of South Dakota stuff tonight. Let me start with something national and just kind of read what's happening here, because there's this argument now that people are having out there in the sports gambling world. Has sports gambling taken over the sports culture so much that it's now getting into the athletes doing this or doing that in games? Allegations are being thrown around, and we've seen this now in a lot of sports. So the latest has been the NBA. And so I want to tell you, this past week, Malik Beasley, Detroit Pistons, if you haven't seen the story, you can look into it. He's being investigated by federal authorities. This is a federal gambling probe. Malik Beasley, Detroit Pistons, allegations of gambling related to NBA games that he played in and prop bets. So how this is working, and we saw this player with the Toronto Raptors, Jonte Porter, he was involved in a gambling scenario as well, trying to get so many rebounds or so many less rebounds, and he's out. He's gone. He's out of the league. We've seen this in the NFL. We've heard stories, guys saying betting when you're not even supposed to bet, and then betting potentially on games that their teams are in. How about this whole thing? So it's going across the board now. NFL, NBA, you've seen college. Iowa had their issues, right? You've had the Iowa sports gambling investigation a year ago. And so the question I have on this, the argument that people are having is, people will tell me, this has been happening all the time. This is something that goes way back. I mean, there's gambling scandals way back, Nate. No, I understand. I understand the gambling scandals from way back. Do you think that we are catching this more now? So I've done this show every day, and there's been a sports gambling story, 2 or 3 of them every year. 2 or at least. These are the ones that catch attention. So when you got an NBA player whose career earnings are $60 million, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's not bad. $60 million, Malik Beasley, Detroit Pistons. Now he's under investigation. Was he really trying to make money off of prop bets? So many points, so many rebounds. Did he get a basket? There's a video circulating on social media that he got a basket at the end of the game. It didn't matter because his team was losing, but he needed one more basket to cover the spread. That's just the allegation of the video that's been circulating around. So my question to you is, Do you believe that this has happened all the time? So let's go back to my era when I watched the NBA a ton, when I loved it in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Do you think some player, Horace Grant on the Chicago Bulls, was trying to potentially get so many rebounds, or some other reserve, and we just didn't know about it because this wasn't a nationwide thing? There's not as much regulation, so it didn't pop out, and people and the red flags didn't get thrown up? That's my question. How did I bring Horace Grant into this? But nonetheless, that's what I'm trying to ask you. I'm trying to ask you, the argument is, has sports gambling taken over sports, that now the players are doing this? This allegation from Malik Beasley was from 2023, 2024, when he was with the Bucks. So he just had a nice year with the Pistons. The guy could have signed a $42 million deal in free agency right now. And now it's on hold because Malik Beasley, I remember he was with the Nuggets too, right? He's been a pretty nice player, reserve player, but a contributor, pretty nice player. You can make some big bucks. So he's in on this gambling allegation now. His whole deal could be thrown off. His whole career could be thrown off. Latest story is he was in some financial troubles because he couldn't pay back a marketing firm that was helping him out and stuff like this. So this thing's really interesting. That's another story for another day. A guy with $60 million career earnings in financial trouble. You tell me. We've seen it across the board, though. It's crazy. I want to know if you think this is happening more now, or it's just something that's being caught more now. That's my question of the day. It's something I really thought about. I've said this previously. Because of the regulations and the monitoring of this state by state and all of this stuff, all of this, the DraftKings, all these apps and everything, and all the regulations that the states have, I thought it was just being caught. You know, the college baseball betting scandal, the Iowa stuff being monitored, the NFL players getting caught, the NBA players getting caught. I just thought, well, it's because we're monitoring now, so that's a good thing. We're catching it. That means the sports gambling legalized in many of these states. What are we up to, 40? Including South Dakota, by the way, which we love. I like betting on sports, as many of you do. So are we just catching it now, so this is the right way to go? Or is this a problem now? Because you tell me, I've got one thing on my mind today, which I think I'm going to walk back just a touch. I'm going to walk back just a touch from my previous stance. I think the prop bets, and this was involved here in the allegations to Malik Beasley this week, the prop bets, I think, are the difference. I think those are the difference. It's not about the Lakers-Celtics games. It's not about these games from back in the day. It's not about even games today where, well, you can't really impact the score of a game. That's hard to do. It's hard to do a lot of times. Maybe they got it done, but you can just every now and then grab one less rebound. You can go and get some garbage time rebounds. And so the explosion of prop bets on all of these sports apps, you can go through. This is, it's huge. We're talking so many apps. I couldn't tell you how many are out there. Underdog and everything else. It's all props. That's all it is. It's just driven by players and their stats. And people can bet on these every which way. You can bet on every single player. Points, rebounds, steals, this, that, over, under. I think that's the big difference. And nobody really wants to say, well, yeah, maybe the sports gambling, the expansion of it into that many prop bets. I do believe that's the issue. You can't tell me back in the day, the Pistons, the Bulls, the whoever you want to say, you can't tell me that guys were trying to get 5 rebounds instead of 7. I mean, you can't tell me that. When you were gambling, when they were gambling in Atlantic City and Las Vegas, that was like the legal places, right? And I understand there's bookies, there's under-the-table stuff in every state. It's been going on for a long time. Somebody even told me we have sports gambling on high school football in South Dakota. Get out of here. Get out. We're not going to go there. But you can't tell me the prop bets haven't impacted it. I believe they have. That's my read on this. So that's why I think you're seeing more players. And yes, I guess they're getting caught. The allegations and the investigations are going on. I don't know if this stuff was as closely monitored because now everything is tracked. For the most part, if you're using this app or that app, you're going to get tracked on this stuff. So when you got big dollars being bet that you're seeing and it comes in like $50,000 on Malik Beasley, fewer than 2.5 rebounds, that's kind of a red flag. So that side of it's good. But I think the prop bets that have exploded, and I'm not a big prop guy, so maybe that's why I'm biased. The prop bets here, to me, we've entered a category where it leads to more of this. That's what I mean. It wasn't going on back in the day, this prop stuff, and every player, rebounds, steals, assists. That wasn't going on. It was, can this team beat this team? I understand there's gambling going on underneath the table, but you can't tell me players back in the day were doing it like this, right? 605-720-1067 is our text line if you want in. 605-720-1067. Listener text coming in. Let's get to some reaction. My question of the day is, with more gambling allegations, there's another one. It's almost every sportsman touched by this, almost. This is the latest one's NBA, Malik Beasley. Do you think it's possible some pro athletes have always been involved in this stuff? Do you think pro athletes, some, have always been involved in stuff like this? My take today is it's happening more because it's so prevalent. The prop bets have exploded, and it leads to stuff like this. Well, I'm not going to impact the game if I get 2.5 rebounds. That's not a big deal, right? And they tell themselves, you know how gamblers are. Well, I mean, my team will still win. I'll grab 2 rebounds instead of 3. That's not going to be a big deal, right? I'm a guard. It's not a big deal. That's what I'm saying. But here's an interesting side note. People are saying that this has always happened. That's what their reaction is early on the Nate Brown Show question of the day. What do you say? 605-720-1067. I think people are saying, well, sports gambling's always happened with players, but not to this extent. That's what I'm saying today. 91% of you say this type of stuff with players has always happened. 9% of you say, no, I blame the prop bets today. I blame a ton of the prop bets. The prop bets, so easy, so they think unnoticeable, so less impactful on the game. I think we can get away with it. And so many prop bets on so many apps, it's absolutely off the charts. And I couldn't tell you the last time I've done that's just not me. I think a ton of people do it, right? You guys enjoy doing it. I know a lot of guys that love the prop bets. I know a guy who places 60 prop bets a day. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's see here. Listener text, the feds will have to step in and ban or outlaw prop bets in sports. And good luck with those huge companies. The FanDuels, the DraftKings, they're going to go ballistic. That's their moneymaker. I mean, that's the cash cow. They aren't just taking bets on the total and the money line. I mean, they're taking bets. The prop bets, they're making money like you wouldn't believe. I know what you're saying, but those guys are going to lobby the feds. They aren't going to shut this down, I don't think. Listener text, we all knew there was a possibility of the integrity of the sport being damaged with sports betting. I fear we're almost to that point. I don't think it happened as frequently in the past because sports gambling isn't advertised like it is now. Interesting. And I'm with that guy a little bit, meaning players back in the day didn't do the Malik Beasley allegation. I really don't think so. I'm sure we could find a one-off here or there. This guy on the Washington Bullets got paid to get less than 5 rebounds. Maybe. But this stuff's exploded because of the prop bets, I think. Listener text. Jonte Porter was busted by prop bets. No, yeah, I mentioned that. Porter's out, right? Porter with the Raptors. He was the latest one with the NBA. So he's out, and that's the same story. It was kind of I think it was a rebound thing, or get so many rebounds, or over, and that's what I mean. Listener text. Issues started happening more with the prop bets. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. Listener text. Yes, this has always happened with athletes, but prop bets have ruined gambling. Props have ruined gambling. Very interesting take from you guys. Athletes have been involved in sports gambling scandals. I say that. Not like this. Not like this. And the prop bets thing, they think they can get away with it. It's not going to be noticeable. Just one time. Just one time. And look out. Very interesting. NBA players, millionaires. You never thought that would be a problem because people say these guys get paid so much, they're not going to worry about the money of bets. And then you have stuff like this thrown out. John Brice is in next as we get started. A lot to cover tonight. College football writer, footballscoop.com, live on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big at Menards and prepare for the summer heat with a new air conditioner from Denali Air. Quickly and efficiently cool your spaces with auto and eco modes to maximize performance and save on energy costs. Cool your space from anywhere in the room with 3 cooling speeds and a remote control. Save big money on Denali air conditioners. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Yeah, can I get the taco burger value combo?
$15.
That's a value? I know it's a taco and a burger, but come on.
Can you find a better value?
Yeah, I can find a better value right across the street.
At the bait shop?
No, not at the bait shop, at the gas station. I can get a South Dakota Lottery scratch game for as little as $1.
No one ever wins.
You can actually win thousands of dollars. Almost enough to eat here.
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 95. Easterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 65. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 99 tomorrow. Temperatures a bit above average Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 80s. Storms both days. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 86 degrees.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Heat up your summer at the Beat the Heat Pickleball Tournament, July 25th through 27th at the Box Elder Events Center. Whether you're crushing the competition or just in it for the fun, this high-energy 3-day showdown has something for everyone. Singles on Friday, doubles on Saturday, and co-ed action on Sunday. It's only $40 for one division or $60 for two. Beat the Heat Pickleball Tournament. Spots are filling fast. Rally your crew and register now at thebox.live.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome in, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad to have you on tonight. Blair Kerkhoff's coming up, Kansas City Star. What are the Chiefs going to do with a new stadium? It's going to be brand new. You're going to renovate Arrowhead. I want to ask you, Chiefs fans, this is for you Chiefs fans, from a Broncos fan. Hey, Chiefs fans, what do you guys want to do? If you had your choice, brand new stadium, domed, or renovate Arrowhead? That's what I want to know tonight. We'll talk to Blair Kerkhoff, Kansas City Star. He's covering it. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun's on next. Get ready. Big sports facility being launched, at least the first part of it in Rapid City. We'll talk to the mayor and his support behind it. Jason Salamun coming up. John Brice getting us started. 4th of July week, he's putting in some work. Footballscoop.com just wrote a piece on the AD at Tennessee. John, good to get you on. How are you?
Good to join you, Nate. And I think you know I'm a Chiefs fan, and so while I would like to see Kansas City with a downtown stadium, it absolutely should not be domed. Arrowhead Arrowhead has great mystique. It gets as loud as any NFL stadium anywhere. I just don't like the fact that it's not near anything other than Kauffman Stadium. So anyway, give them a downtown stadium or renovate Arrowhead, but get out of here with dome talk.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, don't you want a Super Bowl in Kansas City, John? You got to have a Super Bowl. Dome.
You got to stay true to your roots, Nate. And I've been there for an AFC championship game when it was like 3 degrees, and we all weathered it, and we all celebrated when the Chiefs won. So anyway, yeah, I don't want a dome stadium at all.
All right. Very good. You're on the record. I like that. Let me get into this. Yesterday, revenue share started, essentially. So a big step for college sports. I said this is up there with many changes that have happened over the years when NIL even started. And then, of course, you had Title IX, you had scholarships, the creation of that. How big of this step is revenue sharing with athletes? Do you think this is going to transform college sports?
Yeah, college sports already have transformed, Nate, in the 4 years that you've been desperate enough to have me on your radio program, so I appreciate that. But really, I liken what has happened the last 4 years, including yesterday's onset of revenue share, to Curt Flood initiating free agency in the MLB. Like, it's that significant. This has changed everything forever. We're not done with change. I still think we're going to see a separation of college football superpowers that's going to much more closely mimic the NFL model. But this is huge. We'll see. I think we'll have a better idea of how it's working and where it fails and where there are loopholes that will be exploited in about 6 months. As we know, as we've talked about on your show, so many NIL deals, quote-unquote NIL deals, have been massively front-loaded, so guys are made more in June than what they're going to make today. And the quarterback or the running back or the DN who made unreal money the first 6 months of this year is set to be on a more regulated salary structure in September, October, November when football season is at its peak, and he's going to be making substantially less money in most cases as part of the revenue share. So I'm fascinated to see how it unfolds, but it has changed the sport forever.
Okay, so I want to ask you, here's a picture of how the revenue share could work. Arkansas, $20.5 million, that's the number. Out of the $20.5 million, 14.9 is going to the Arkansas football team. 14.9. Then there was 4 to basketball, 1 to baseball, and the other sports at the university, less than $300,000. Tell me that people aren't going to go crazy about that.
They can go crazy, Nate, but as we discussed on one of our recent visits, it's not about anything other than economics. And multiple places have publicly said, I think I just wrote about it with obviously, you've had the South Dakota AD on. I'm really impressed by him. I wrote some out of his interview on the South Dakota YouTube channel. There was another AD at the college level that I just recently wrote about who said, look, the majority of our revenue share is going to our ticket revenue programs. And at most places, the majority of ticket revenue comes from football and men's and women's basketball. There's some places that maybe draw some ticket revenue from baseball. There's some places, especially like Nebraska, that draws some money from volleyball ticket sales, or draws LSU, Alabama, Auburn, UCLA. Some of these places draw money from gymnastics ticket sales. But yeah, people can go crazy, but the fact of the matter is a lot of these sports are still being upheld and still being funded by football. It's just that football now is going to see more of its revenues distributed among its players rather than to fund sports elsewhere at the school that can't fund themselves.
Yeah, no, I get it. John Brice on tonight, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. Revenue share just started yesterday. So one more on this. Here's a big fight that I think's going to happen. You tell me if I'm wrong on it. You're in the middle of it. They're going to do the NIL deals. They're going to go to a third party. They're going to determine if these are market-driven. You know, are these fair market value NIL deals for your services? I think they're going to have a big fight there. Somebody's going to say, what do you mean I can't make $3 million from this sponsorship? That's bogus. And I think you're going to have a big fight.
I think you're right. As a matter of fact, I've already heard from general managers at Power Conference college football programs who expect that fight sooner rather than later. And it's going to be fascinating to see. It also will be fascinating to see how the respective universities handle it. As we've noted before, the state of Tennessee passed some of the most liberal NIL legislation anywhere in the country to try and keep a wide open de facto pay-for-play system for players, and then the SEC had its league meetings the week of Memorial Day stretching into the 1st of June, and Tennessee was notified, hey, we're talking about an agreement here, you're messing that up. And so it's going to be fascinating to see the school or schools that decide to go rogue and challenge this via, I think what you're saying is a lawsuit, and trying to say, well, no, like, you know, Toyota of Knoxville wants to pay this guy $1 million in addition to his revenue share, and they've done the numbers. They think they'll sell 20 cars because he's going to be their spokesperson. And we're going to see lawsuits and fights because of that. But that, again, that's also what we've talked about, the what's it called? The alliance, basically, that is really the Power Four, but they're being kind and including the Pac-12 reboot in it. So all those conference commissioners, as well as other leaders, are trying to form this alliance that basically says, okay, $20.5 million plus an increase of, I think, 4% every year is what we're looking at to build our salaries, to build our rosters. Don't go abusing this with $50,000 NIL deals for a guy to show up at a cookie factory for one day or things like that.
Yeah, I think that's coming. I want to see how this goes because kids are going to say, I deserve this. This is my value. And the third party, Deloitte's going to say, no, I don't think so. I think that's a big one coming up. By the way, we're getting close to the season, John. Arch Manning, how big is he going to be in college football? Paul Feinbaum said the best quarterback since Tim Tebow in college football. Where do you rank him?
I think that he has a much greater ceiling as a true quarterback than Tim Tebow. I think that Tim Tebow is one of the best leaders we've seen in college athletics, certainly of this century, and really in a very, very long time, one of the best competitors as well. I'm not there yet on Arch Manning. I think he has an incredibly high ceiling. He's a much better athlete than either of his uncles. Eli or Peyton was. He's got much more of the genetics of his father, Cooper, who was a really good wide receiver until an injury forced him to end his college career. But I'm not ready to anoint him in that rarefied air just yet.
You just wrote a piece on the Tennessee AD, Danny White. Big contract. I think the biggest in the country. What's the story there with Tennessee's AD?
Yeah, he got a raise. He's gotten raises very rapidly in his tenure at Tennessee, and he's done a nice job overall. Now, there's been some controversy earlier this year with the Grant Furking kid that had worked for On3, that had been a former wide receiver in the program and was working for a media company while also advising people on NIL, while also getting a paycheck from the University of Tennessee. We've covered that at Football Scoop. It's probably not been covered enough, but he has stabilized Tennessee athletics. He absolutely took over a dumpster fire left behind by Philip Fulmer and Jeremy Pruitt. Josh Heupel got them to the playoffs last year. That meant an $82,500 bonus for Danny White because it's 3% of his base salary. They were in the top 10 of the Learfield Directors Cup. That meant a whopping $247,000 bonus for Danny White because it was 9% of his base salary. But this is on top of the fact that last summer, Nate, he went from $2.2 million on a contract he'd agreed to just 18 months before that had built-in 5% raise. He got a 20% raise last summer to go from 2.2 to 2.75 million, and now with all those bonuses, he's crowding around 3.4 million plus an element of the contract that I find particularly interesting and amusing is that he gets 10 flights a year, 10 private flights a year on the UT jet as well.
Okay. I wonder where he takes those. Old John Brice, you're a traveler too, man. I know that. By the way, I want to know how hot the seat gets for Kalen DeBoer if Alabama doesn't, turn it up to what they used to be with Nick Saban. They were good last year, got knocked off. Year 2 for Kalen DeBoer. Does it get hot if he loses a couple early mid-season?
Oh, absolutely. It gets incendiary. It's just a pressure cooker job. The money is huge. The expectations are as big or bigger than the money. And it's the SEC where, they say everything means more, but usually it means more hirings and firings because of the lack of patience. And so I would say it's a massive year. He's got some really rigorous early season tests, including an opening month trip to Georgia. Georgia will be looking for revenge after losing on the road at Bama last year. It'll be Bama's first trip to Georgia in several years. That's going to be a night game. Yeah, and they're going to be unproven at quarterback. I like their options. I really like Ty Simpson. His father is the UT Martin head coach, one of the best FCS head coaches anywhere in the country. But it's Alabama. If you lose some games early that you're not supposed to lose, you better believe it's a blue hot flame.
John Brice in tonight, footballscoop.com. Happy 4th of July, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, happy 4th to you and your family and all your listeners. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks a lot. John Brice in tonight, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. I go there every day. You should hit it if you're a college football fan. Footballscoop.com, national writer John Brice on. All right, I've got another question of the day. I'm going to ask the Chiefs fans. You let me know. They're debating kind of which offer they're going to do down in Kansas City. The president's looking at, should we do a new stadium like domed, go to Kansas, like dome it, or renovate Arrowhead? Just modernize it, renovate it. Let's keep the location there and let's do that. So I've got a feeling myself, I have not been to Arrowhead. I have not been to Arrowhead, okay? As a Broncos fan, I'm scared of you guys. I don't want to get into that. I haven't been to Arrowhead. I should, though. I really should. I have a lot of respect for your fandom. But what type of stadium would you want? What type of stadium would you want? Chiefs fans, that's your question of the day. You've never had one specifically designed to Chiefs fans on the Nate Brown Show. What a day it is. 605-720-1067. on the Barons-Wilson text line. You tell me. Listener text coming in. I'm a fan since 1961. Renovate Arrowhead. Renovate Arrowhead. I think a lot of this is coming. You guys can't let it go. You can't let it go. This is like Mile High Stadium. I could have said, oh, we want Mile High Stadium. It's great. It's this and that. We built a brand new stadium. We didn't go indoors. That was a mistake. But, you know, we built a brand new stadium. We didn't renovate Mile High. If you can get a new stadium, you get a new stadium and bring a Super Bowl to Kansas City, right? All right, let's come back with Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun, an exclusive tonight. Will Rapid City get a massive indoor youth sports facility? Jason Salamun next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked at the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Large inventory of fifth wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Eating in Deadwood has so many options thanks to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wake up with the trusted taste of Starbucks or sit down to a full breakfast at Best Brews. Looking for lunch? Build a wonderfully fresh sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Grab some quick and cheesy goodness from Pizza Hut or pull up a chair in Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub. Need something a little more intimate for dinner? Well, Snitches is all the buzz with an evolving menu of chef-designed culinary creations. There's something for everyone to eat at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Happy 4th of July. We'll be here tomorrow, though. I mean, we're putting in work here. We'll be here tomorrow. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. You can watch us there on X at Nate Brown Show. Coming up, we'll go to Kansas City. Talk to Blair Kerkhoff, covers the Chiefs. Kansas City Star, Sportswriter. Are the Chiefs going to get a new stadium, brand new, or are they going to do a renovation of Arrowhead? That's the big discussion in Kansas City. Blair Kerkhoff's coming up from the Kansas City Star. My question of the day is, Chiefs fans, what do you want? Brand new stadium, domed, or renovate Arrowhead? I'm a Broncos fan, so you don't want to listen to me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Dome. You got to do a dome there in KC. Get a Super Bowl, economic engine, right? You got to think bigger. All right. Speaking of thinking big, I like this. Rapid City's trying to look at an indoor youth sports facility. We're talking big here. 8 basketball courts, 16 volleyball courts, full indoor turf field. Rapid City Mayor is Jason Salamun. Haven't had him on the show for a while, but he's back, and I appreciate his time on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Mayor Salamun, good to get you on. How are you?
Nate, it is great to be with you. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you coming on. So I got you for a while, so let's get into it. Let me just ask you a big picture question. You came out in support of, hey, Rapid City could use an indoor sports facility like this, and there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people that, we have to get involved, and people have to get behind this. Why are you out in front of something like this?
Well, I believe in it. Obviously, this has been talked about for quite some time, even well before I was mayor. We've had a plan in place about what it would look like, but it's one thing to have the idea. It's another one to actually put skin in the game, put a funding plan together, and actually make it happen. And nobody really had that plan together, so that was something we got to work on. But the big picture, this is great not just for Rapid City, but for South Dakota. Here in Rapid City, we have 3.9 million visitors that visit the area each year. Obviously, tourism is a big part of our economy. But it's not just people planning their vacations, but it's also people visiting from a regional perspective. We are the hub in a 5-state region. And every time we draw visitors to South Dakota, and in particular to Rapid City, it benefits the entire state. So, for every dollar spent, the city will get, 2 cents of sales tax revenue. The state gets 4.2 cents for sales tax revenue. So wherever you are in South Dakota, you could be in Sioux Falls, you should be championing complexes like this. Of course, they got one there because it helps draw even more visitors, helps us be more competitive all the way around, improves our own quality of life that, our residents can enjoy. But we know that people travel for sports, whether it's tournaments, events, you name it. In fact, tonight I'm doing the first pitch at the Firecracker Tournament, 50th annual, and here at the Fitz in Rapid City, we have teams from all over the place visiting from those areas. So I love it for that perspective. I'm, of course, a big sports fan, so, I appreciate that. But I really like it for our youth. And at the end of the day, my whole vision for Rapid City really boils down to whether kids thrive and families flourish. It's not really how big our city is or how big our budget is. It doesn't mean anything if kids aren't thriving and families aren't flourishing. I believe this helps get us there. So it's in alignment with my vision for Rapid City. I want it to bring more of an economic impact to Rapid City. I want it to be this quality of life that we enjoy even better, provide productive outlets to our youth. Just really helps lift up the state. And quite frankly, we are a growing community. Since 2020, we've grown by over 10,000 people just in our city limits alone. And so we know that there's demand. We know people travel away from Rapid City for tournaments. We'd rather draw them in a lot more.
Mayor Jason Salamun on tonight from Rapid City on the Nate Brown Show on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, new proposed indoor sports complex. So you talked about the planning. And there is a lot of pieces here. One is the big land donation. Pete Lean and Sons, a big land donation, a part of this. How did that impact it?
Well, that's huge. Last week we announced 22.78 acres near the interstate, right in Rapid City, not far from hotels, dining, and shopping. One of the things we had to look at is where to put this, and that location really was determined by, some factors that would be a big part of the funding. And we looked and explored several options. But Pete Lean and Sons really came to the forefront. They're looking at a project of their own. We thought there could be some good synergy. If you don't know, they're looking to build a resort village, an amusement park, big one, here in Rapid City. And we thought adjacent to that could be a sports complex, could really play off of each other well. And, when we were in conversations with them, and they've been a great community partner over the years for a lot of things, and, they jumped at the chance. It's a win-win. Obviously, it's a value of land worth, I think, $6 to $8 million, currently, depending on what you're going to do with it. That's a big-time deal for us, and the location is awesome. It's easily accessible. Obviously, it's going to take, some time to build it and all the infrastructure around it, but it was really a win-win. They jumped at the chance. We were extremely grateful, and at the end of the day, despite all the various locations we looked at, this one made the most sense. It was land that was donated, and the question was, how are we going to pay for it now? If we have this location, what will that do to come together? And this was a big part of the equation, and we're very grateful for their generosity. And obviously, I hope it will benefit, their project as well, because if it does, Rapid City wins. So that's what it's all about. I believe this is a game changer for Rapid City and the great state of South Dakota.
Okay, looking at a new indoor sports complex in Rapid City. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun on for a little while longer. One thing you're looking at, Mayor, is you got to get some money to start it. I mean, so it all takes you to the land. You got to get some money to start it. You're looking to ask the city council to allocate $5 million to this. Where does that come from? What are the politics on this? Everything's political. Where are people at?
Yeah, well, the Vision Fund committee that we just had allocated funding towards community projects, and while they didn't allocate funding towards the sports complex, John Kaiser, the chair, they gave a very strong endorsement of it. They wanted to give to a lot of these other projects. We said, if you could figure out a way to fund this, we think it is a big-time thing for our community. That was a heck of an endorsement. So what happened was our previous round of Vision Funds, which is a portion of our sales tax, goes towards these civic improvements and quality of life projects. The previous round, we actually collected more funds than we anticipated in the previous 5 years. And so when we looked at that, we said, we got to do something with this. And, once 2024 ended and we got in the first quarter of 2025, we got the results in from the state. That gave us an idea of what we had to work with. And so simultaneous to the Vision Fund Committee, we're getting this data. And and basically I said, we have these unallocated vision funds, we have to direct it towards something, and this is in alignment with what we want to do. And so I brought it forward to the city council, asking them to consider $5 million as a start. We're anticipating about a total of a $55 million project, give or take. We'll see how everything shakes out. But this is a good faith, step. It really signals to potential partners and community sponsors and everything else that we are serious about this. And so it's really not just a vote for $5 million, but it's a vote from the council to say, yes, we think this is worth pursuing. Here's a start with the funding. Of course, there's other pieces of this funding plan we can get into. And in fact, it passed through committee today, which is good. That's a 5-person committee. I think it passed 4-1. And it will go on to the city council Monday night.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is a big deal. So we're on our way.
I was going to ask that next step, next hurdle potentially, but went through committee today, city council coming up on Monday. Mayor Jason Salamun on tonight, new indoor sports complex being proposed. Some things are being put in place. And I look at it down the road and I say, okay, people are asking, I've already gotten questions on this. Now, what's this for? Is this for college games? Is this for this? And I said, hang on a second. No. So there is an education piece to this. This is really the vision. I think you've worked with the Rapid City Sports Commission. This is for youth indoor, potentially some rec usage. That's really the vision. This isn't an arena for Division I or high school games.
No, not necessarily. And obviously, let me give a big shout out to D'Amico Rodriguez and the Rapid City Sports Commission. Been able to be involved with them the past couple of years as I've been serving as mayor. what I say about this whole thing is a vision you can accomplish alone isn't much of a vision. This is a total teamwork deal all the way around the board. And so, yes, obviously the sports complex is an economic driver. It's geared towards youth sports, but I would say for our community, it'll be available to all ages, depending on what's going on.
Right.
But we have a ton of youth sports. With when you talk about how it can be converted to so many different things and the multi-purpose aspect of it, and obviously, if we had a Division I event or something going on, or college just wants to use it, that's great. I think we should be open to all sorts of events, but at the end of the day, this is really about the student athletes, and that's what we will gear it towards, whether they're youngins or up in later years. But that's the target. But with anything, you're going to have a building that you want to put to use.
Yeah.
And we are very fortunate in Rapid City to have the Summit Arena. It is crushing it. We just had the tumbling and trampoline national qualifiers here, and Rapid City folks don't even know that was happening. But we
had
all of these, all these contestants from around the country here competing, which is just fantastic. And I don't like to hear that they have to turn events away, and that's not anything we want to do. So we want to make sure that we know we're a destination already in Rapid City. It's an amazing place. We have built-in advantages over a lot of other communities, especially our hotel rooms. There are some places that have sports complexes, but they can't run year-round because they don't really have the hotel rooms to meet the capacity that those places can hold. It's really tough. Rapid City does. So we really have some competitive advantages. I think that'll go a long way for us.
Think about this. Sioux Falls Sanford Sports Complex gets over 2.5 million visitors a year. 2.5 million visitors.
Yeah.
Rapid City gets a ton, and now it could get even more. I love the sports tourism aspect, and I don't think I just think we've hit the tip of the iceberg. I think this could be a big one. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun on tonight before he goes to throw the first pitch at the Firecracker tonight. So what, are you going to gun it? Are you going to gun it, or are you going to take it easy tonight?
I'm going to blow out my rotator cuff, Nate. It's been a while. I got to participate. Mark Ellis was in town, and we both played Little League, and I caught his first pitch. So he came and did the first pitch, and I caught it, and gave a little speech, and I said, my claim to fame is Mark Ellis never hit a home run off of me when I pitched to him.
Wow.
But then again, I never threw a strike either. So there you go.
All right. Throw one straight tonight. You've got it. I appreciate your support on this. This is a big thing. People don't understand. Maybe your kids won't benefit from it, but this is going to be a massive thing. If it can get started maybe by late 2026. Is that still the time frame?
Yeah, we're getting aggressive on going after our funding sources right now, whether it's a hotel fee, a TIF district. We're talking to corporate sponsors, of course, our $5 million. There are several things right now in the works to try to really start to set this up. And then, the next step would be engineering and design. We have conceptuals, but, that'll be the big next step, especially now that we know the land and location. So keep cheering it on. Let your city council folks know here in Rapid City that you're on board with this. They're a big part of this as well. It's going to take all of us to bring it to life.
I appreciate you coming on, Mayor Jason Salamun on tonight. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks, Nate. God bless you.
Appreciate it. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun joining us tonight. Great perspective from him. He's been working on this, and people have been teaming up together on this. This could be a big one for Rapid City, a big one. I've talked about a youth indoor sports complex. We're going to have to go back to the archives of this show. I think this was a few years ago. I said, if you're going to do something in Rapid City, youth indoor sports, it is the ticket. Many cities have done this. That's the sports tourism side. There's no better place to come than the Black Hills. We have that. We haven't had the facility. This is the big one. Just getting off the ground. City council meeting coming up on Monday, but a lot of pieces in place. Land, funding sources, potentially TIF district there when it comes to the tax side. Mayor Jason Salamun, appreciate his time. Rapid City Mayor on tonight. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, let's go with a visit of the question of the day. Should the Chiefs renovate Arrowhead or build brand new? Let's get to it next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Celebrate the freedom of summer at Splash City's Infrared White and Blue Sale, June 27th through July 14th. Relax like never before with spa-quality infrared saunas, and bring home the ultimate in comfort with hot tubs and swim spas from Jacuzzi, Sundance, and American Whirlpool. Enjoy 0% financing for 6 years and save up to $5,000 in factory direct rebates on qualifying models. Summer fun, summer savings. Only at Splash City in Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Sioux City.
Splash City, get to it for fun. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
There's summer, and then there's Murphy's in the summer. Nothing beats it. The food, the drinks, the atmosphere. Whether you're soaking up sunshine on the patio or hanging inside with friends, Murphy's brings the good vibes all season long. Amazing food, cold beers, summer cocktails, live music on the patio, a crew that treats you right, and yes, even a late night menu every Friday and Saturday night. When you're thinking summer in Rapid City, there's only one move, Murphy's. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com. Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 66. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 100 tomorrow, mainly sunny. Lows dip down to about 68 tomorrow night. Temps above average Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 80s. Storms both days. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 85.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on a Wednesday. Big day today. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salamun just joined us live moments ago. If you didn't hear that interview, I think it was really informative. So I think you want to hear that one. It'll be on the podcast. We'll put it up tonight. The Nate Brown Show podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show. We had Mayor Jason Salamun on talking about the proposed indoor sports facility. And I do think you got to have some education on this for the public. Some people think, well, wait, we got the Summit Arena. The Summit Arena. No. It's not an arena. It's not high school tournaments. It's not Division I games. It's not concerts. It's indoor sports facility. 8 basketball courts for a massive basketball tournament. 16 volleyball courts for a youth tournament. 1 turf field that you can use for soccer, softball, football. Okay, that's the vision of it. So it's not. You don't need to. Don't think about a bunch of seats. So this is just for youth sports and tend to get 250 teams here and then spending money at hotels and businesses and in the community. So that's the sports tourism side. That's what the plan is. And $55 million price tag is what they're looking at right now. $5 million to start from Unused Vision Fund. Land donation out there by the interstate, out there by Fleet Farm. Okay, give you an example in Rapid City. So that's the story. Will it get off the ground? It's passed committee today. City Council voting on Monday for the initial funding. Then there's a hotel tax in this as well, and they're on board. So that's going to fund big time each year as well. It's a great idea. I think it's a smart idea for economic impact in sports. I don't think Rapid City's tapped into that. Okay, let's get to, speaking of stadiums, let's visit the question of the day, and then we'll get to 5 questions from Chris, our loyal listener. Sends me 5 questions. I've got 5 answers coming up. My question of the day, though, is what would you do, Chiefs fans, for Arrowhead and the Kansas City Chiefs? They're debating. What are they going to do with this stadium? And it's a big discussion in Kansas City. We'll talk to Blair Kerkhoff tonight. He'll join us live, Kansas City Star Sportswriter, his read on the dynamics in Kansas City. But one piece is go to Kansas, and they're trying to do a big tax incentive over there. So they're like, hey, we got a big tax incentive over here. We'll help you pay for 70% of it. Kansas has said, we're going to pay for 70% of this. So the Chiefs are like, whoa, that might work out okay. Brand new dome stadium, for example. Go to the Kansas side. The Missouri side, they've said, well, we could do new too. We've finally got some things going. They did a Show Me State Sports Act. Show Me State Sports Act. So that's funding there that they said, we can renovate Arrowhead. Let's just keep the classic Arrowhead Stadium, but renovate it, modernize it, make it really, really nice. And so now they're going to have to decide what to do. If I ask you, the fans, what should you do with the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium moving forward? New and domed or renovate Arrowhead? What is your answer? 605-720-1067 on the text line. If you can text in your answer, Chiefs fans, I let you sound off. I'm not surprised what people are saying. What do you think Chiefs fans are saying? Arrowhead, Arrowhead, Arrowhead. I want to stay at Arrowhead. I want to stay in the outdoors. Can I convince you at all that a brand new stadium like U.S. Bank Stadium for the Vikings, that's how you get Super Bowls? That's how you have really nice economic development. So, I mean, it's a big deal when you go brand new, state-of-the-art, indoor. You can attract concerts. And, I mean, it's just off the charts. So my point is you don't have to use it, 15 times out of the year. You can use it a ton, right? So, like me as a Broncos fan, I've been going to Broncos games for a long time. It gets a little chilly. I know I'm not a wuss. I'm not like a men's soccer player, but anyway, enough with that. I don't mind going to the Broncos outdoors, but would I cry if they're indoors? No, I'd probably be really comfortable. It's just the fact of the matter is most of the stadiums are going indoors. There's not very many outdoor ones left. Chicago, New England, Cleveland Browns just announced they're going to do it. The governor just announced they're going to do a brand new stadium. The Browns are going indoors there in Ohio. So instead of having to just freeze and go crazy down in Kansas City, you're going to freeze down there. I mean, you guys got freezing rain. You'd love it, huh? But I don't like it. So I think indoor, nice, new, Super Bowls, economic driver, new build, great experience. Arrowhead outdoors doesn't give you guys the home field advantage you think it does. I mean, it's fine, but I got a listener text coming in here. I think they should just move the Chiefs to Oakland. Take it easy. Take it easy. Let's see. Arrowhead forever. Arrowhead forever. Another one coming in. Let's see. Are the Kansas City Chiefs going to build new dome stadium or renovate and update Arrowhead? What would you want? 67% of you have voted. modernize and update Arrowhead. Stay in Arrowhead. 33% of you are willing to build a new domed stadium. Listener reaction. I don't want them to move out of Arrowhead. It's an actual home field advantage built to amplify noise. It's one of the few old stadiums left. But they want a Super Bowl, so they need a roof, and no retail development ever popped up along Arrowhead. Listener reaction. Build a covered stadium so you can bring in big shows to town year-round. And, I mean, that's partly right from Joel. Listener reaction from Joel. All right, you tell me, what do you want? 605-720-1067. My vote is, if you're going with the new stadium for the Chiefs, you go new and you go domed. And the experience, I mean, you might be like, oh, we're losing Arrowhead, nostalgia. I mean, I get all that, but I wouldn't whine if the Broncos went new domed. I wouldn't whine at all. I'd actually think, man, this would be great. Go down to Denver, not have to worry about freezing if it's December, whatever it is. I think you'd like it more than you think. Okay, 5 questions from Chris on a Wednesday. Do I have 5 answers? He always gives me tough questions next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked to the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Federal Credit Union. We are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
We're talking with Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy with an Elevate Performance Health Minute. So if somebody has an athlete, Rihanna, who they suffer a concussion, they come and see you, what can you do for them?
We want to see them as soon as possible to make sure that we can make their return to sport as safe as possible. So we can look at proprioception, balance, vestibular work, and cervical strength.
When they try to get back up to speed, you said a treatment plan, very important as they return to sport.
Making sure that the athlete has a skilled plan moving forward so that they don't return to sport way too early, making sure that the return to contact is an appropriate timing.
And the goal of that is you do not want to have another concussion getting back to it too early.
Correct. If we have another concussion too early, the athlete is at a huge risk of further problems down the road, including anything with their school or memory or continuous headaches.
For concussion treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in. We're into the second hour on the Nate Brown Show tonight, Wednesday edition of the program, 4th of July week. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are you working this week like me? That's a sad situation, isn't it? So we better do it up good tonight on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're on board. Let's take a look at what's on tap tonight in the second hour. Brought to you by the new Campfire Bar, Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Campfire Bar's awesome patio. They got live sports inside, so you got whatever you want. And 20 South Dakota brews on tap right now. That sounds good. Summer in South Dakota at the Campfire Bar, Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard inside the best and biggest liquor store in South Dakota. What's on tap tonight? Blair Kerkhoff live from Kansas City. Longtime Sportswriter, covers the Chiefs, Kansas City Star. Blair Kerkhoff, what are the Chiefs going to do with the new stadium? An interesting debate being had. Blair Kerkhoff coming up. We'll go to the NBA analyst from Orlando. Keith Smith is in tonight. His reaction to a lot of changes now. Lakers get a big man. I've seen this big man play a lot. I don't know about it. But Knicks get a coach. They just recycle guys through. It's interesting. But Keith Smith's coming up, NBA analyst, front office show, and Spotrac straight ahead. That's what's on tap on the Nate Brown Show, and a lot to get to, including this on a Wednesday.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Chris, how you doing? We're back with 5 questions from Chris. Our loyal listener, Chris, sends me 5. I've got 5 answers. Question 1. Nate, on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, it was the Twins and the Tigers. That was the highest viewed baseball game so far this season on ESPN. Average of 2.2 million, peaked at 2.6 million viewers. Twins Tigers. So far, Sunday Night Baseball has seen an 11% increase in viewership compared to last year. Do you think the increase of people watching baseball on ESPN is due to fans knowing this is the last season of Sunday Night Baseball? Or is it more of how baseball has improved the aspects of the game? Well, it's just about, it's not because of the last season of Sunday Night Baseball. People don't care. They're like, hey, is it a pretty good game here? We got Scooble pitching. Okay, this is pretty good. Tigers, yeah, let's check it out. I watched it on the plane, Chris. I watched it right there on the plane, Sunday Night Baseball. Tigers beat the Twins. Look out. It's because of how baseball, I think, if I want to take a choice, people are watching. It's a little faster, pitch clock, limited mound visits. I think aspects of the game have improved. That's an interesting number, though. Why did everybody watch Twins Tigers Sunday night? Yeah, there's not a lot of sports going on right now either. It's kind of slowed down, so it's not because of the last season of Sunday Night Baseball, though, I'll say that. Question number 2. Currently, each team in the NHL is allowed to have 2 goalies on their bench, and then they're required to have an emergency backup goalie on call. The NHL and Players Union reportedly wants to change the emergency backup goalie in the CBA. It would make the position of an emergency backup a permanent team member within the organization, like a trainer or a scout. Should the NHL keep the over-the-hill goalie that does something else for a job during the day, or modernize the emergency backup goalie? I get it. I mean, I don't think we can just call Jimmy Lipper. Hey, Jimmy Lipper, we need you tonight. I think you got to have him in the building. You can't just call Jimmy Lipper and say, hey, I know you're going to work at the golf course today, but we need you to be an emergency backup goalie. Got to have him in the building, so I'm going to go with the NHL CBA. Got to have the emergency backup goalie in the building. Question number 3. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said that the NBA is looking into why there have been torn Achilles tendons in the last 10 years. Why do you think it is, Nate? They're having more ruptured tearing of the Achilles tendon. Is it because of no high-top shoes? that they wore back in the day, or is it because current players are just bigger, stronger, faster? I think that's got to be it. I have no clue. That's got to be it. The torn Achilles, like Halliburton and Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum, that all happened this year, late in the year. So you had 3 stars, and it was all the same move, the step back. Like they're coming, they step back. It's just got to be, I don't know. It's got to be the explosiveness of the game. I don't know if these guys are training, meaning weight training, strength training. They have all this training. I don't know if they're strength training. Is it the wear and tear of the season? I don't think so. Guys used to play like this, 82 games, more than these guys did. So I think it's the bigger, faster explosiveness, and the body's just not quite there. Question number 4. Missouri legislature passing a bill that could help the Chiefs remodel Arrowhead. Oh, here you go, Chris. Here we go. Not to be outdone, the state of Kansas put together a funding plan for a new dome stadium in Kansas. If you were part of the ownership of the Chiefs, would you want to play in a domed or keep playing in Arrowhead? I've told you, I've answered it, Chris. It was a great topic today of the show. We'll talk to Blair Kerkhoff. My feeling is you got to go new, you got to go domed. I don't have the sentimental connection, though, to Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead's cool. I mean, the Broncos have beat you guys a lot there, so it doesn't bother me. But anyway, just not lately. Just not lately. Don't give me any of that. I don't have the sentimental connection to Arrowhead, but I just think it's smarter to go new, domed, use it throughout the year, big events, economic driver. That's where I've always been pretty consistent. That's the way I go. Question number 5. Roku TV is in their second year broadcasting an early morning Sunday baseball game. Instead of having their own national crew of play-by-play announcers on Roku, they use the local announcers, the home team play-by-play man, and the color commentary from the visiting team. Do you think the NFL should consider using this for their streamed broadcasts? Yeah, I actually do. I think that'd be great. I think it'd be great. These guys know the teams. These guys are the real deal. I have a soft spot for the homer announcers. The Dave Logans of the world for the Broncos, right? So I have a soft spot for these guys. Why bring in some national guys that are not the A team? It's like the D team on the stream side. It's the D team. Just let the home team guy do it and the away team guy. I think that's a great deal. I haven't checked that out, Chris. I want to check that out. Early Sunday baseball on Roku. Uses home play-by-play man, away team color man. Love the NFL to do it. They won't because they're the NFL. We got to have national really, really good broadcast teams, and some of them aren't that good. These are the real deal guys, the homer guys. 5 questions from Chris in the books tonight. Let's go to Kansas City. Get reaction from what is the public sentiment down there on the Chiefs and a new stadium. Blair Kerkhoff covering it for the Kansas City Star joins me live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked at the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 66. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 100 tomorrow, mainly sunny. Lows dip down to about 68 tomorrow night. Temps above average Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 80s. Storms both days. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 88 degrees.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Packed tonight. Good stuff across the board from South Dakota across the country. Let's go to Kansas City. Courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, we have Blair Kerkhoff on, longtime sports writer, Kansas City Star. Find his work at kansascity.com. He's on X at Blair Kerkhoff. Chiefs Stadium. Where are we going? That's what I wanted to discuss here and where people are at. Blair, welcome in. How are you?
Good, Nate. Hope you're doing okay.
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for the time. 4th of July week. I appreciate it. I'll start there. Kind of just give everybody a update of kind of where we're at. I'm seeing Missouri legislature's trying to do something. Kansas is trying to do something. Where are we at? Do we know?
Yeah, so as everybody knows, or maybe they don't know, the Arrowhead Stadium and Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals play, or share the same complex, right? They're share the parking lot at the Truman Sports Complex here in Kansas City, and the lease for those stadiums expires in 2031. So they're in the market for new homes. The Royals have said they will not play in Kauffman Stadium beyond the lease. So they absolutely are looking for a new home in the Kansas City metro area. The Chiefs have entertained the idea of relocating in Kansas City, but also as an option is a renovated Arrowhead Stadium. So that's kind of the basics of where it is. Now, both need funding help. They're not going to pay for a new stadium by themselves. The new baseball ballpark would cost about $2 billion, and And if the Chiefs built new, that would be over somewhere $3 to $4 billion. And the ownership's not going to pony up that kind of money. So both the states of Missouri and the states of Kansas have said they would pitch in and help. Missouri up to 50% of costs of a new or renovated stadium, and Kansas up to 70% of those costs. So the teams are now deciding among the deals what works best for them, and it's a bit of an emotional issue here because of the possibility of the teams that have always played in Missouri moving across the state line to Kansas, and we just don't know where things are right now. The teams really are kind of up against it when it comes to a timeline, because with the lease expiring when it does, it takes a good 2 to 3, maybe 4 years to get a stadium built, and shovels are going to have to be in the ground pretty soon for new homes for these teams. But it's a constant source of conversation around here.
No doubt. And I wanted to get what's the emotional side of this? So I've asked my audience, if you're a Chiefs fan, what would you want them to do? 67% responded, renovate Arrowhead. It's the emotional, sentimental connection there. Do you feel that? They just want to stay at Arrowhead and renovate it, or not?
Yeah, you get a strong sense of that here, that Arrowhead, because of the success that the Chiefs have had in the Patrick Mahomes era, there's just a feeling that why change? Why mess with a good thing? And the counter to that is, if the Chiefs built a new stadium wherever it was, whether it was in Missouri or in Kansas, it would be a dome stadium, and that would open the possibilities of the Chiefs hosting a Super Bowl, a Final Four, a Big 12 football championship game, a bowl game, indoor winter concerts, things that can't happen in Kansas City right now because of the stadium situation. So would the Hunt family, Clark Hunt being the chairman of the board of the ownership group of the Chiefs, would he be enticed by building a stadium and calling it the house that Patrick Mahomes built, and having a dome stadium with an opportunity to host a ton of events that aren't possible now?
Do you think people are really, meaning the Chiefs leadership, they got to be thinking about the economic impact of that? We're talking, as you said, a huge events to use it throughout the year, not just 12, 15 times a year. Use it throughout the year, and then economic development around a new stadium. I would think the ownership, the leadership's going to say, I think we got to do that, or is it just too much to bite off?
Well, that's exactly right. They've got to decide what's most cost effective. I mean, it's obviously cheaper to renovate, and the Chiefs have put out a figure of about $1.1 billion to renovate Arrowhead. They would come. The team itself would come up with a percentage of that, and then the state of Missouri would or Kansas, whatever. Well, the state of Missouri, if it's a renovation, would come up with their share of it, and then that would be probably the easiest thing to do, the most time friendly, and a lot of people would want that. But how does that measure against what would be maybe a $3 to $3.5 billion investment of a new stadium that over the course of about 30 years I think would pay for itself, and again bring a lot of attention to this part of the country for events that have never been here. A Super Bowl, Final Four hasn't been here since it was in Kemper Arena back in the 1980s.
Okay.
The Big 12 football championship game could never be here because of outdoor football in December. Although it was in the Arrowhead back if you remember, Oklahoma won a couple of those Big 12 title games. But would it come back here if there was a dome stadium? So those are the questions I think that the Chiefs are asking themselves now.
Blair Kerkhoff joining us, Kansas City Star, Sportswriter, kansascity.com. What are the Chiefs going to do? What are the Royals going to do? I want to get to that. But on the Chiefs side, I think about this. I say, okay, if they get a new stadium and what they can do there, but I'm saying, how do they get the public? Is the public going to have to get involved here, even if the state says we'll help out 50%? Kansas says we'll get some star bonds and do 70%. Is the public going to be asked again to do something here?
That is a good question, and the answer is in Missouri, yes. In Kansas, no. There's no vote of stadium funding in Kansas. There would have to be a vote of local citizenship in the state of Missouri. If the Chiefs or the Royals decided to stay, and Royals would build a downtown ballpark, and Chiefs would renovate Arrowhead, part of the funding would have to come from the voters of whatever county, Jackson County, if it's in the case of Kansas City, Missouri. The local voters would have to go to the polls and approve an extension of a sales tax to help fund it. But over on the Kansas side, that's one of the attractions to move to Kansas. There would be no ask of public money if the teams went there. All the money would come from the state and the teams.
Okay, that's a big thing. By the way, where are the Royals at in on this? I know I talk Chiefs, and Chiefs are number one, and everybody's passionate about the Chiefs and all the success. The Royals feel like they're kind of out there waiting in the wings. How were they a part of this?
Well, they have when John Sherman bought the team 4 years ago from the Glass family, one of his first public statements was he wanted a new stadium for the Royals. He wanted it in downtown Kansas City. He wanted to have an entertainment district around the ballpark. And if you go to some football stadiums, baseball ballparks, even some NBA, NHL arenas, you'll see this, where around the arena, around the stadium, you've got commercial development. You've got bars and restaurants, shops, and all this. And that's John Sherman wants that for the Royals. Well, they thought they had a place picked out in downtown Kansas City, and residents went to the polls. This was in April a year ago, so 16 months ago, and voters turned it down by a pretty wide margin, like 58 to 42. Voters said they're not going to support the extension of a sales tax to fund a new downtown baseball stadium. So that threw the Royals for a little bit of a loop, and they've had to go back to the drawing board and see if there are other places in the metropolitan area that would be interested in. They haven't given up on the idea of downtown, but there are two other areas in the metropolitan area. One's in a county north of Kansas City on the Missouri side that's interested, and the other is in Johnson County, Kansas, which is a possibility for the Royals. So Royals have different options, probably more options, and higher stakes, I think, because they have declared they want to build a new stadium.
All things being equal, Blair, what would you do if you're the Chiefs? What would you do?
Well, I think for the best possible outcome for the metropolitan area here is to have the Royals build a stadium in downtown Kansas City, and then have the Chiefs relocate out of Arrowhead and into a domed stadium, whether that's in Missouri or in Kansas. More likely it would be Kansas, and bring the additional events to this area. I just have the whole idea. Listen, the Chiefs were all but promised a Super Bowl about 10 years ago. Maybe no, longer than that. About 15 years ago, if they had voted to put a rolling roof over Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium. NFL had come out and promised them a Super Bowl, I think 47 or 48, but because the voters turned it down, the Chiefs didn't get a Super Bowl. So I think it'd be pretty cool for this part of the country to be in the running for events like that. So I think that's where my sentiment lies.
Okay, last one, and it's off topic. How big is the World Cup going to be in Kansas City?
Major, biggest sporting event, maybe biggest cultural event in this this region's history, and it is a regional thing. I mean, they're going to ask for help and interest from all the surrounding states and then the middle of America to help bring this thing home. And Kansas City's going to get 6 games, 4 in the group stage, 1 in the round of 32, and then a quarterfinal, which is going to be so cool. It's going to be the home between Kansas City and Lawrence, Kansas. 3 base camps are going to be here, so national teams will set up camp, stay here for a month or as long as their team is involved. All their fans will be here. They're estimating 650,000 fans, tourists coming through here over a 6-week period, and it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen here.
World Cup coming to Kansas City next year. Blair Kerkhoff on Chiefs Royals trying to figure out the stadium deal. It's a big topic. Find it at kansascity.com. Blair, good to have you. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, great talking to you, Nate. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on. Blair Kerkhoff, Kansas City Star Sportswriter at kansascity.com. He's also on X at Blair Kerkhoff. Good coverage, really good. Longtime sports writer. That's interesting. Interesting stuff. Well, his opinion is Royals should get a downtown stadium, but the voters turned that down in April last year. They turned that down 58-42. Isn't that interesting? Didn't want to bump up the sales tax. I know it's tough. It's tough, man. Sports stuff is tough to sell to the general public sometimes. I mean, I'm a sports fanatic, so I'm a big believer in it. I'm biased. I just think about it. But, you know, I always tend to side with I'll raise my taxes a little bit for schools. I'll raise them a little bit for youth indoor sports. I'll raise them a little bit for, if I had the Royals, I would do that. Vikings did that, and nobody's complaining too much, right? Vikings did that for U.S. Bank Stadium. So I tend to side that way. And then I just don't look at my bills. But interesting. He wants Kansas City Royals downtown, if it's a perfect world. And he would say he thinks the Chiefs need to take the domed new stadium in Kansas. I think you got to go domed. And he mentioned other events. I said Super Bowl, but he talked about Final Four, talked about Big 12 Championship, talked about major events, concerts, winter events. So that's what I would play. If you're going to, I always think this. I watch people do projects, and I was a part of this one time. This was years ago. They did a project, and they got a pretty nice facility. They could have got a really, really nice one if they just would have spent a little more. They were already spending like $15 million. If they would have spent $19 million, they could have got really nice. So you don't want to do that. It's like, well, we'll spend over $1 billion to renovate Arrowhead. You could spend $3 billion, get brand new, domed, major events, major economic drivers. So that's where I'm at. But how about the World Cup in KC next year? How about the World Cup? Soccer fans are absolutely bonkers. I might have to experience that. Keith Smith's in next on the Nate Brown Show as we finish strong with the NBA analyst from Orlando. Saw a lot of moves in the NBA. Will this one work out for LeBron and the Lakers? Oh, boy. Keith Smith next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked at the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
What are you doing?
Just getting in the holiday spirit.
Isn't it a little early for jingle bells and Christmas in general?
It's never too early for Christmas. But Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale just got me in the mood.
A window sale started all of this?
It's not just any window sale. It's Renewal by Anderson.
Okay, settle down. I'll get the ladder and we'll get started hanging the lights.
Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale. 20% off every window and door. No money, no payment, and no interest for 18 2027. Hurry, the holiday savings end August 15th. Hassle-free, energy-efficient, low-maintenance windows with a professional fit. Renewal by Anderson uses Fibrex windows, keeping your home cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter, and reduces your energy bill. They do windows. They're the experts. No subcontractors. For a free in-home estimate and a perfect fit, go to RBARapidCity.com. That's RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson, when only the best will do.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. High Energy Wednesday. Is that right? 4th of July week. We're juiced up, ready for the weekend. Let's take you there on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Keith Smith's in tonight. Let's get him before he has to run. NBA analyst, Spotrac contributor, front office show. Find his work there, front office show. And Keith Smith, NBA on X. Keith, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for your time, man. You've been busy. Teams making moves. I want to get your reaction to the Lakers bringing in DeAndre Ayton. Good fit, good move. What do you say?
It's considering the options. This is a good move for the Lakers. There just was not much out there at the center position to get someone who could conceivably even have anywhere near the impact of DeAndre Ayton. They probably would have had to make a trade, and that didn't seem overly likely. Now, here's the thing with DeAndre Ayton. When it looks good, it looks really good. The question is, how long is it going to look really good for? How consistently is it going to look really good? This is a guy who's had a lot of trouble over the years staying motivated and putting in effort from game to game. And, with the Lakers, you'd love to say, well, Luka and LeBron aren't going to put up with it, but there's so much going on there with those two, too, that it's just impossible to know where this goes. So I think it's worth a shot for the Lakers. There weren't very many more options out there for them, but they got to do the best they can at this point.
So are the Lakers going to win, or are they not going to win, Keith? Where are they at here?
I mean, they're going to try to win, right? They are doing the best they can to put together a roster here a little bit on the fly that I think meets having both LeBron and Luka and trying to get forward. We don't really have the full answer of what's happening with LeBron James. There's some suggestion out there of, that Rich Paul put those quotes out into the world because maybe LeBron is open to a trade. That's going to be hard to pull off. Maybe it's just setting the stage for an eventual exit next summer. I don't really know what's going on there, but there's a lot in flux. And the other challenge is Luka Doncic missed a lot of time last year. LeBron James is aging. We're finally starting to see the effects of that. There's the makings of a pretty good team there, but by the time we ran into the playoffs last year, that team wasn't very good, and they were just another playoff team.
I'm a basketball fan. I'm not an NBA expert. So clue me in on what the Knicks did. They fired Tom Thibodeau. They're hiring Mike Brown. I don't see the huge game-breaking difference. You clue me in.
Yeah, with Tibbs, I think it was a sense of just it had gone on enough years, and I don't think they felt like it was going to get any better than where it was this year. I think the Knicks also knew, hey, we don't want to make major roster changes. Again, they've made 3 monster trades in the span of about an 8-month period between acquiring OG Anunoby, then getting Mikal Bridges, and then Karl Anthony Towns. Those trades all came kind of bing, 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 and it was, I think, the Knicks are in a spot where we don't want to go further with making roster changes, and we all know the old saying, doesn't really matter what the sport is. You can't change all the players, so you fire the coach.
Yeah. Mike Brown going to be the head coach of the New York Knicks. That's one of the latest ones. Keith Smith on tonight. Find his work at Front Office Show, his show on YouTube, also Spotrac. Let's go to the Nuggets. So are you on the train that the Nuggets have made nearly all the right moves? Michael Porter Jr. out. They added Brown. They added Cam Johnson. They added Tim Hardaway Jr. What do you think about the Nuggets build?
Yeah, and let's not forget Jonas Valanciunas, too, to finally give Jokic a viable backup. I think the Nuggets have had a phenomenal offseason. Cam Johnson is really, really good, and he's kind of toiled in relative obscurity on some bad Nets teams. So I think people have maybe kind of missed. He's really good off-ball. He's a good off-ball cutter. He's a really good off-ball shooter. I don't think they downgraded much at all from Michael Porter Jr., given the role with the team. Now, on the nights where Jamal Murray is out, yeah, Cam Johnson's not quite as good as getting his own shot as Michael Porter Jr. is, but on the nights where they're whole, I think he's going to be really good, and he's an upgrade defensively. But most importantly, he costs a whole lot less than Michael Porter Jr. does, and that really kind of changes things and put them in a really good place as far as being able to add those other guys. So they get Jonas Valanciunas to come in a trade that, again, like I said, gives Jokic a real backup. That's been just a black hole for them in the minutes when Jokic sits. And then Bruce Brown is beloved there, gives him a versatile perimeter guy. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. gives a little bit more shooting punch off the depth. So I could not be higher on what the Nuggets did this offseason so far.
How about the Wolves? Wolves haven't done much, but they re-signed guys. They're just kind of running it back. Is that good enough?
Yeah, we're going to see, unfortunately, running it back without Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And that's the kind of penalty right there, right in your face of being a second apron team. Unless you're going to commit to multiple years in a row over the second apron, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to make hard decisions like that. They chose Naz Reid and Julius Randle. They're bringing them back in the fold, and then they believed between their younger guys like Terrence Shannon Jr., Rob Dillingham, Jalen Clark, that they've got the guys who can pick up and step up for Nickeil Alexander-Walker already in-house. So I think, the Wolves are still going to be a very, very good team. They've got some work to do, I think, around the edges of the roster, but this is a team that I think is in a position where let's, kind of see where it goes. But for me, they've earned the benefit of the doubt because they've kind of hit on all their moves so far.
Before I let you run, where does Damian Lillard end up? Teams are looking. Where do you think he ends up?
Yeah, I promise I'm not trying to cut out on you on it. I just really don't know because he's not going to play for a long time. Maybe towards the tail end of the regular season, and that might be one of those deals where, all right, he's cleared. Let's get him out there for a handful of games, knock the rust off, let him kind of rebuild his confidence in himself and get after it again. So that way when we start the 26-27 season, he's starting, all right, I'm already over the return from the injury. So it's going to be a really interesting situation for him. He's going to kind of have his pick of teams. He can't go back to Milwaukee. The rules don't allow for that. But just about any other teams, I would assume, is going to make a call and check in, especially if it's, hey, come here on a minimum deal, rehab, and then we'll kind of touch base again at the end of next year. I know Boston's been engaged. Golden State has already called. The Lakers have already called. But anybody who signs him, their fans are probably going to get super excited and fired up, and then someone is going to remind them real quick, hey, at best we might see Damian Lillard in March or the beginning of April.
Keith Smith on tonight. Great breakdown. Find him at Keith Smith NBA. Watch the show, Front Office Show. Keith, thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate your time. Keith Smith on tonight, one of our favorites, NBA analyst, Front Office Show. Find him on YouTube and also a contributor for Spotrac. Keith Smith, NBA on X. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show, finishing it off tonight. I couldn't believe this today. I just saw this. An FCS college football team actually has money to share with their athletes. I'll tell you who it is next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Celebrate the freedom of summer at Splash City's Infrared White and Blue Sale, June 27th through July 14th. Relax like never before with spa-quality infrared saunas, and bring home the ultimate in comfort with hot tubs and swim spas from Jacuzzi, Sundance, and American Whirlpool. Enjoy 0% financing for 6 years and save up to $5,000 in factory direct rebates on qualifying models. Summer fun, summer savings. Only at Splash City in Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Sioux City.
Splash City, get to it for fun.
We're fired up for the 4th at Fleet Farm with deals that'll help you celebrate in style. Save $200 on a Traeger Woodridge pellet grill. On sale now for $699.99. Stay hydrated with 8 packs of Gatorade, 2 for $15. And get 1-gallon 4-packs of Liquid Pool Shock for just $14.99. Get ready for Independence Day with these specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all the items in our weekly ad, backed by our best price guarantee at fleetfarm.com.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 66. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 100 tomorrow, mainly sunny. Lows dip down to about 68 tomorrow night. Temps above average Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 80s. Storms both days. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 88 degrees.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 1 to VP, 1 to get 200 to VP, here, 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's do this. Who's hot and who's not tonight? Wrapping up the show on a Wednesday, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. Tonight, hit the buffet. Great buffet. Too hot to cook. All right, who's hot category going to the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. This just came out on their revenue sharing model. Yes, this is an FCS school. Chattanooga can provide $1.3 million to their football program. That's their estimate in revenue sharing. $1.3 million to football for Chattanooga? They're going to give $2.6 million to their men's basketball. Look out. What's Montana Grizz football going to do? Do people have money left over? I mean, they're saying they got money for revenue sharing. That stunned me today. More on that tomorrow. Pizza Ranch, who's not? The hot dog eating contest coming up on the 4th of July. I'm a hater. Take it. I don't need it. It's the only sports thing on the 4th of July. I don't need it. More on that tomorrow as well. See you tomorrow.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.